Hello, I'm Michael Dennin, and this is the Physics of X, where X is everything except politics. And what we're talking about in this current series is the Dresden Files, and issues of science and faith that are raised by Harry Dresden the Wizard and what goes on in his life. And we're on a faith episode. These are all particularly challenging. This one is really cool because it's free will, which is something that turns out to be a central theme of the book. Now, in this book, Harry Dresden often has to battle creatures with way more power than him, whether they're fairies, sometimes even immortal gods, various other creatures, vampires, and they often have a force of will that they can use to try and control mortals just by their force of will. And later in the series, again, spoiler alert, and particularly in a book Cold Days, Harry finally has the realization that the fundamental advantage humans have over many of these supernatural creatures is we actually have free will. Now, free will is something that has been debated, I would argue, since the dawn of humanity. Do we actually get to make choices, or is everything preordained for us? Do the laws of physics constrain stuff and everything is deterministic? Or are we actually able to make choices? It's a deep metaphysics question. There's lots of different ways of defining free will. But there's a couple of aspects of how free will is used in this book that I think are really core to an appropriate understanding of free will. Can't go into everything here, but I want to hit a few highlights. One is, free will is really about a specific type of choice. It doesn't apply to everything. Harry makes it clear at one point, and this is at the end of Ghost Story, he realizes some of the characters can just take over his mind and force him to do stuff. But that's not really giving him any sort of action or giving them any advantage, because he wouldn't actually do any more than their exact direct order. It's just like in everyday life, we are constrained by the laws of physics. We can't suddenly fly just because we think to. But even when outside things appear to be putting us into a corner or constraining us based on our past or constraining us by other of these sort of non-physical kind of emotional elements, what Harry gets at is the heart of being human is you can, at these critical times, make choices that are your own, that are free to go in a different direction. And we see this in many people's lives. It shows up most often, I think, when people are deep in struggles with various addictions or other issues, and they make the choice to then seek help and go somewhere else. It doesn't mean they're automatically better right away, but they are on that path. And so this sort of somewhere between theological and philosophical idea of free will around those moments of real choice is something that really can't be captured or exist in a world of just physical reality, I would argue. If you look at physics, physics always has some level of determining what happens next, even if it's random or probabilistic. The cool thing about physics is we do think the world at its core has an element of probability to it, and it's in that randomness that you could end up making choices that you don't know, right, whether that was just the random thing of physics making it happen or you truly choosing it. And in that place is the inherent problem that we've had all along in our discussion. If you accept a reality that's beyond physical reality, how we understand physical reality and laws of physics actually can't make statements about key important issues of non-physical reality. So we're going to need to come up with a new way of thinking about it. And I think really thinking carefully about free will and our experiences around choice, as Harry does, is a great direction to start thinking about, can we learn about non-physical reality this way? So another very complicated, deep topic, way more to discuss than we just had in time for this video. So look for the blog post, look for more that I have to say on this. This might even be a great time for me to point out I have an entire book on it. So look for the book for these top difficult topics. Divine Science, Finding Reason at the Heart of Faith. Hopefully you're enjoying the Physics of X. Come back and watch more as we talk more and more about the Dresden Files. This has been the Physics of X, where X is everything but politics. Make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you get notifications of every episode coming weekly straight to you.